Welcome to NEMC Channel 6 Focus Program. Today we're highlighting Macomb Academy of Arts and Sciences' first robotics team, the Fighting Pie. I'm Becky, I'm a mentor with the team, and we're joined by 3 students. Can you please introduce yourselves?
My name is Ethan. I'm the Awards and Presentations Captain for the team, and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Frank. I'm a senior on the team, and I am the current business supervisor.
My name is Tiffany. I am a junior, and I'm the sponsorship captain, and we are all part of the chairman's presentation team.
What is FIRST?
FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FIRST allows students from kindergarten through 12th grade to be able to be a part of a robotics team wherever they are. It allows them to travel to different levels of competition and not only compete with the robot, but impact their community through different community service events and outreach events.
How many students are on your team?
Our team has 44 members from 5 different school districts. 39% of them are young women. Half of them hold leadership positions among our 2 supervisors and 8 captains.
What are some of the activities that the team participates in?
We participate in community events such as the Armada Fair, where we demonstrate our robot for the entire 7 days that the fair goes on. We have also participated in the Armada Holidays Parade, as well as some other local parades.
Yes, and we participate in other local parades such as like the Romeo Peach Festival Parade or the Richmond Good Old Days Parade. This allows our team to be seen throughout our community.
You are all high school students. Are there any other levels of FIRST?
Yes, FIRST actually has multiple levels, starting at kindergarten through 3rd grade, which is the junior FLL teams, which participate with a small Lego-built robot. The next level is FLL, which stands for First Lego League, which is for 3rd through 5th graders in Michigan, and allows them to do the same type of work as junior FLL, however on a larger scale. On an even larger scale, using actual milling and steel and aluminum parts, is FTC, which stands for First Tech Challenge, and is geared towards middle school students. FRC, which is what we're part of, standing for First Robotics Competition, allows students to build off of completely aluminum chassis to make larger robots to compete in a larger competition.
I actually learned about FIRST by participating in a First Lego League team at the elementary school during my 5th grade year, and now as a high school student, I'm working to start programs in the middle school as well as the elementary school and continue to expand those for the community.
What other activities does the team participate in? Community service?
Yes, we volunteer at many different things, such as the Armada Lions food booth at the Armada Fair, as well as the Richmond Rotary food booth at the Armada Fair. We also clean local roads and trails 3 times a year.
We also volunteered at the Veteran Olympics this year, where we were able to act as like game hosts for the veterans from around the local area.
It sounds like the team is very busy. How do you keep up with academics?
We have an academic rule on our team that states you have to have a B or above average with no grade below a C. This keeps students working hard towards their academics during the FRC competition season, which ranges from January all the way through May for teams that qualify for the world level event.
And during that time, we have an hour and a half between after when school ends and when our 4-hour meetings begin. So that's when a lot of our students take time to help each other to make sure that they are able to maintain their grades throughout that entire 4-month period.
All right. How did you get involved in the team?
Well, the reason I got involved in the team was I participated in the local high school's cross-country program, and I had different members of the team telling me that I'd be really interested in participating in FRC program at our academy. So I decided I'd try it out, and I've been in love with it ever since.
I began, as I said, on a First Lego team and learned about the high school team through that, and then waited until I got into high school and then joined the team.
My sister is an alumni on the team, so she told me about the team and how exciting it was, so I decided to join.
All right. We'll be joined by members of our mechanical team to talk about the robot, so stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We're joined with members from the mechanical team of the Fighting Pie. Can you please introduce yourselves?
My name is Liam Bradford, and I'm our build supervisor on our team.
My name is Riley Jacob. I'm the controls captain on the Fighting Pie, and this is our 2017 robot, Fred.
Can you tell me a little bit about Fred?
Fred is our 2017 first Steamworks robot, and Riley will tell you a little bit more about the game.
So the way that our game works, we get a new game for first every year. It's assigned somewhere near the beginning of January, not always the first, but usually close. And the game changes every year, but there's a few components which stay the same between years. One of these is that there are two alliances which compete against one another, and each alliance is made up of 3 individual teams. The game is always started by a 15-second autonomous period where the robot operates completely on its own, and that is followed by a teleoperated period where drivers step up and control the robot through a computer. This period normally lasts somewhere around 2 to 2.5 minutes. The game this year was called First Steamworks and was centered around a steampunk theme, and essentially what would happen is there were 3 main game elements. One of these was transporting this yellow game piece in front of our robot, which we call gears, to these, there's 2 wooden structures in the center of the field, which are called airships, one for each alliance, and we have to pick up these gears with our robot and deliver them to the airship to score points. Similarly, there are hoppers full of several of these large 5-inch diameter wiffle balls. A robot has the ability, if they so choose, to pick these up and shoot them into a high goal for points. In addition to that, the last game element, near the end of the match when 30 seconds are remaining, from these airships in the center of the field, long ropes can be dropped down from them, such as this one here. And then the robot has the ability to climb up this rope to score additional points if they so choose.
How do you decide what type of robot you will build?
So at the beginning of the season after kickoff, we're given 6 weeks to completely design and build our robots. What we usually do is, as a whole team, we sit down, we talk about the best strategies that we would come up with for playing the game first before we even talk about what we would want to build. And after we talk about the best strategies and we decide on how we want to play the game, we discuss what is going to help us play the game like that the best.
And how many students on the team participate in that process?
We have about 45 students on our team, and I would say almost all of them participate in the design process and the building of the robot.
How much time do you take for the design and before you start building?
We try to keep to a pretty tight schedule, and we like to have our complete robot design done by the end of the first week of build season. That doesn't always happen though, and we have to find ways to make up time and find time again where we lost it.
So how do you learn to build a robot?
There are several different ways that you can learn how to build a robot. When freshmen come on, they have no idea what they were doing. I was one of them once. And when you're a freshman, you just you float around, you find where you like to be, and then as a sophomore, you go about learning more about what you like. You learn mostly from the seniors, which is their job to teach, while the juniors more lead the team in different places on the team.
What are some of the different components that make up a robot?
Sure. So, for example, this can change obviously year to year. There are a few facets of this that are going to be the same almost every year. For example, every robot in a first game is going to have a drivetrain because it has to move around. So there are lots of different types of drivetrains. One of the most common is a tank drive, where you have 2 sides which are both independently driven. This allows really easy steering, similar to how a car works. It gives us a very similar feel to that. Specifically to this year, our robot has special features which allow it to compete in the elements of the game which are specific to this year, such as picking up gears, delivering them, and at a certain point in time also picking up these wiffle balls and firing them as well. In the front of our robot, you can see this black roller which has Velcro spun around it. This is actually what we use to climb the rope at the end of the match. So our rope is ended with this yellow-orange Velcro, and when we catch that at the end of the match, we spin the roller and it winches up with a ratchet, and that allows us to climb up the rope.
Are there any size or weight constraints that the robot has?
There are. The size constraints can vary year to year. For example, this year there were 2 different package constraints that we could use, one which is shorter and one which is taller. The weight restriction stays the same year to year. It's about 120 pounds, exactly 120 pounds.
All right, thank you. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the team and talk about how the season turned out. We're back with FRC Team 1718, the Fighting Pie, and the students and their robot Fred. So tell me, how did Fred compete this year?
Well, Fred went to 2 district competitions, the state event and the world event. The district events, the first one was at Waterford Mott High School, where we were the 4th seeded alliance captain, and we were defeated in the quarterfinals. But coming out of that competition, we realized that there were a few things that we needed to change. So going into the Troy district event, we were a little bit better.
So coming into Troy, we fared a little bit better out of qualifiers. We ranked 3rd and were the alliance captain. We actually went on to play in the eliminations and came out of the competition as semifinalists after being eliminated by the alliance that would eventually go on to win the entire competition.
At the Waterford District event, we were able to win the Chairman's Award, the most prestigious award you can get as a team. And then at the Troy event, we were able to win the highest award that we were eligible to receive at that time, the Engineering Inspiration Award.
And what qualifies you for a Chairman's Award?
The Chairman's Award is based off of a team's impact in their community. The Chairman's Award is defined as a team that represents a good role model for other teams that they should emulate.
Okay, and how about the Engineering Inspiration?
The Engineering Inspiration Award is similar to the Chairman's Award. However, it is morely focused on the strength of the robot team as well as the business team. It is an overall team judged award.
So the results of the district sent you on to the state competition. How did the team do at the state championship?
At the state competition, there were 4 different divisions. Since there were so many teams going to the state championship this year, first had to split us up all into 4 divisions. We were on the Consumers Energy division, and we, coming out of the qualification matches, we ranked 23rd and were picked by the 3rd seeded alliance, where we went into the quarterfinals, lost to the alliance that went on to win our division, and then were quarterfinalists in the finals of the state championships.
At the state championship, on our division, we were able to win the Gracious Professionalism Award, which is really about being good to other teams and acting gracious even in defeat, and making sure that you're very professional throughout the entire competition. And then at the entire state competition, we were able to be one of the 5 teams recognized as a Chairman's Award winner.
And winning those awards, and at that position, you moved on to the World Championship. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
So the World Championship was a little different this year compared to previous years. As FIRST is always growing, that means we need to expand as we go on. And because of the sheer number of teams that would have been competing at Worlds this year, we actually had to split it up into 2 different events. So whereas in previous years, the World Championship had been hosted in St. Louis, now there's also one hosted in Houston. So there are going to be 6 divisions at each event, again, due to the sheer number of teams competing. So we were randomly chosen to play as part of the daily division at St. Louis, where we did quite well. We were picked by the 8th seed on our division. And then in the first round, in the quarterfinals, we were defeated by the alliance that would go on to win our division, and then later on the entire competition.
Where do the teams all come from to attend the World event?
Teams attend the World event from all around the world, given the name. Last year we had teams go to the World Championship from Australia, Brazil, Japan, China, the Americas, Canada, and probably some others I'm forgetting.
Because of the two sites, they had to divide up the international teams. So a lot of the teams from Asia and Australia went towards the Houston event, whereas at St. Louis, there's a lot more European and like South American-based teams.
There's some exciting news to the 2018 season. Then the championship is moving. Would you like to share where the championship will be next year?
Detroit.
It is in Detroit. Can anybody come and watch the events?
Mm-hmm.
The events are open to any visitation. You just have to go and sign in, and you are allowed to watch any of the divisions and go into the pits and talk to any team there from any country.
How would you say being on a first team has impacted you? I know 3 of you are seniors and will be moving on, but what are your future plans and how has being on the team affected you?
Well, for me, FIRST has given me an opportunity to not look just into the fields of engineering, but also look into the business side because that's what I do for the team. So my current idea is to become a chemical engineer as a major, and as a minor go into business administration.
Anybody else like to share?
For me, it allowed me to become a strong leader and grow my leadership skills, as well as learn how to communicate effectively with anybody in the entire world. I can walk up to somebody and just have a conversation, which is a very valuable skill going forward in life.
Okay. So what do you see the team doing in the coming weeks, months, and years?
In the coming weeks, we're preparing for our Michigan Advocacy Conference, which is a conference that our team is holding in Lansing, which will allow teams to come around from the state and talk to different House representatives and Congress representatives in the state about how important first and STEM education really is.
Then a couple weeks following that, some of our students will be going to the national version of that conference in DC to advocate on a national level.
If the community sponsors would like to contact the team, how would they find the team?
We have many social media websites. We can be contacted through Facebook, through Twitter, through Instagram. And on our website, we also have our lead mentor's email and phone number. So if anybody would like to sponsor us or contact our team, they can contact us through there.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for joining us today.